Raise your hand if you've ever played a video game. Good. Well, whether you're a seasoned pro or an absolute novice, chances are you've experienced moments of deep immersion. Deep immersion can be recognized by a few telltale signs. If you've ever found yourself leaning over to one side and tilting your controller while playing a racing game. If you've ever had the sensation when jumping off of a cliff or a high ledge in a video game, and while you plummeted, feeling that sensation, that tightening in your stomach as if you were on a real-life roller coaster. Or perhaps while playing a first-person shooter, you found yourself leaning forward while trying to peek around the corner in the game to see if there were any enemies. These are all moments of deep immersion. And through these, when done correctly, any game can feel just as real life. It's my dream to encapsulate those moments and recreate them for another generation of gamers. The more immersive you make it, the better the experience they'll have. This game was one of the ones that really opened my eyes to the possibilities of how immersive a world can be. Every game I'd played before this was on rails. The only things you could interact with were items that were absolutely necessary to the story or the progression of the game itself. However, in this one, being Morrowind from Bethesda, this would be one of the first rooms they send you into. You're not even done with the tutorial at this point, and they teach you how to interact with items. And it turns out that unlike previous games, in this game, every item that isn't nailed down, you can interact with, no matter how important or trivial. And so every time I ran through this game, I would take every single item that was not nailed down. It really isn't a huge boon to the progression of the story itself, as I said before, but something about being able to take every single cup, plate, and fork from any given room made it really a much more immersive universe to find myself in. Have any of you ever played Duck Hunt? If you have, then I'm sure you've had moments where you swore you hit the duck, but for some reason the game didn't register it. And you had to watch as it flooded off screen. And then to compound your frustration, that stupid dog would raise above the bushes and laugh at your failure. In the games I would make, you'd be able to punch that dog right in his smug little face. This sort of feedback to improve and progress the life of a game is extremely important in this industry. At Full Sail, I learned a number of different skills that would let me capture and implement this concept. I had a number of classes on human-computer interfaces, learning how people interact with technology. I spent a number of occasions at game expos, demoing student-made games and getting real-life feedback from any random stranger that wanted to walk in and give it a try. I'd gone to a number of different game testing facilities to, once again, get more hands-on experience with this back and forth from both sides. Because being able to receive user input and implement that to improve the system is extremely important for the life of any game. Reshaping games to reflect users' needs is absolutely a priority of mine. Doing so makes the world and the way people interact with it far more immersive. As some of you may have experienced, there's a certain moment when exiting the tutorial area of an MMO or an RPG, an open world RPG. That moment when you exit the tutorial area and you first get a glance of the world stretching out in front of you, expansively, enticingly, seemingly endless, yet promising adventure in any given direction. The sensation that one gets in that moment, that is what I want to capture. And that is what I want to renew in the games that I make in the future. They say not all who wander are lost. I say, let's give them somewhere worth wandering to. Thank you.